on the machine rather than turn it all off. Another thing I would say is, but there's also been a reaction when some of the utilities were required to implement cybersecurity. One of the things that they did instead of implement cybersecurity protections was unplug. So just literally disconnect the Ethernet cable. And that's positive, I guess, from a cybersecurity perspective, but you still have the possibility of a USB keychain or an insider creating an attack. Yes, sir.
Have you done any work with detecting malicious low-level code that's coming in on the silicon from chips from foreign countries like China?
No, I haven't. Actually, we've talked to the Air Force one time about that, but we've never actually had a project in that particular area. So no, I can't really speak to it very much. Yes, sir.
Have you done any work in the vulnerability of our aging infrastructure, gas lines, electrical lines? You know, the house in New York, the aging gas lines as far as malicious attacks into SCADA systems that might render some of these aging infrastructure units more vulnerable?
I mean, all of the attacks that I do, a lot of it is because of an aging infrastructure, like network protocols and things that were created 20 years ago and still in place, software that has been, in place for 20 years. So in that sense, yes, but if you're talking about the actual physical implications, I haven't done nearly as much. But I can tell you that the replacement cycle on a lot of these industrial control systems is 10, 20, 30 years. And so even though you may have a brand new relay or PLC with all the bells and whistles, there's going to be 90% of the equipment at that same company still going to be the old stuff and still outdated security.
All right, well, we want to thank Dr. Fowler and Dr. Morris for speaking. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
And next up, Ben McGee, the president of the ISSA organization, is going to do a few words. So, Ben.
You know, do it. It's already.
All right, well, that's a tough act to follow right there. That's some great research and some pretty neat stuff. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing here in the Tennessee Valley with the ISSA, and specifically some of the projects that I'm involved with, and I thought that I'd just take the time to share with you. So first off, can everybody hear me okay? All right. Well, I'm a walker, and I like to talk with my hands. Hopefully I don't spit too much and have anything come out to the people in the front here, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so in case I haven't met you before, this is a little bit about me and some of the things that I'm into. I work for Alita Technologies. We're a small cybersecurity firm here off of Slaughter Road. For 7 years here in town, I was the cybersecurity lead for SAIC. Thank you. And I still have a lot of great friends over there. I came up here to work on an identity management project for NASA, and then went over to an Army project. Prior to that, I had some experience with Raymond James Financial in the St. Petersburg Carillon complex. I've been teaching over here for the past 6 years, and I saw Joanne Jones back in the back there. Joanne and I, we actually met over at Tenders in Madison about 6 years ago. And since then, I've had the privilege to meet some of you guys out there that I see some familiar faces in the crowd. But I've certified over 170 people, whether it's the CISSP, the CEH, or in Microsoft specifically. I did graduate from the University of Florida. We got any Gators in the crowd? Got just one, baby. That's all that matters, right? So, yeah, go Gators. Didn't do too well this past weekend. I was a little disappointed with them not showing up in that Final Four game, but there's always next year. I have a master's degree from the Polytechnic School of Engineering from NYU in cybersecurity. And I've been a CISSP since 2003. So a little bit about the ISSA, and hopefully this font is big enough for you because it's popping at me just really close here. But you know, we do a lot of cool things here in the community. If you've never come to any of our events, this is the kind of things that we do. We try to give back, we try to do education, networking opportunities, and really we have some great people. Up front here we have Michael Lee. Michael, you want to raise your hand? Some of the folks that were in the back, Jeremy Blevins, he's the cybersecurity director. I think he had the jet. Mike Belazy's out there. He's been a great guy for us and the membership director. And then Yevgeny Adon, who is also in the back there, helped to put this event on and make it possible tonight. So let's put our hands together for those guys that really helped us out. Does this thing work? Yeah. All right, so the Information Systems Security Association has 10,000 members worldwide. So it's not like we're just here in little Huntsville, Alabama. We've got 206 members. I just checked it this morning here in town in the Tennessee Valley. And we're the 15th largest chapter in the nation. We have over 200 members. Most of them have affiliations with government entities over on the Arsenal. And we do monthly or regular meetings with either training or hacking demonstrations. Try to move away from the PowerPoints more into showing tangible demonstrations, which is kind of neat. Just some of the people that make the magic happen for us. I mentioned a few of them. Jason Cuneo is our vice president, good guy over at People Tech. He's not here tonight. And then Melanie Klinters at SMDC. She's also very, very good to us. But the other folks are here tonight, so be sure if you have any questions, come up and ask us afterwards. So just about everybody who is anybody is a member of the ISSA. And if you're not, then it's time to go ahead and join. And if I'm not a good sales guy, hopefully these statistics will help crank your tractor a little bit to get on that. 70% have more than 10 years. They're the SMEs in your organization. Usually these people are the network security engineers or the experts in your particular security operation. That could be not only physical, the gates, guards, and guns, but also the software assurance. We were talking about the fuzzing earlier with some of the applications. Same thing there. So it doesn't really matter. It's just what do these people bring to the table, and they usually are the leaders of the organizations. 65% of our members have these certifications right here, the CISSP, the CISA, the CISM, CEH, Security Plus. We have some handouts. Hopefully you had a chance to pick one of those up with the brochures, but they have these statistics just in case I didn't go through them that much. So Michael's going to come up and talk a little bit after I get done here and talk to you a little bit about the Cybersecurity Summit. Dr. Joe Popinski 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago now, and I and Kim Walken-Statham, Mike Belazy, Paul Clark, and a few others really got together and said, you know what, we're lacking something here in the community. And that's the Cybersecurity Summit. We put it together, and the first year over at Dynetics, we had 185 people. And that was such a fantastic turnout. We leaned on one of the Taj Mahals of the area. I don't know if you guys have ever been over to AdTran, but they have a fantastic facility over there. And we had 225 people show up the second year. Took it over to the Jackson Center the third year in 2011, and we were popping at the seams there with 350 people. The only logical progression from that was down to the Von Braun Center, and in 2012 and 2013, we had over 500 people show up for that. So this year, it's going to be bigger and better. We're actually taking it to a 2-day forum. So Michael will talk a little bit about that when he comes up here. So just a little bit more about it. We have networking opportunities. Usually we'll put tables together where somebody on the table will know somebody who may have a job for you. So if you're a high school, or if you're a college person, or even if you're in the industry, you're looking for a job, these are the types of events that you want to go to try to figure out what those jobs are and whether or not they're attractive to you. Because you just don't want a job, you want to have a job that you're going to actually want to go to, which is important. So who are our sponsors? Well, we have over 50 of them, 50, and there's some of these guys right here, the platinum sponsors. I'm not going to read all these. You're going to recognize a few of them. Gold sponsors. Silver sponsors. There's UA Huntsville Professional Continuing Studies right up there. More sponsors. I think you get the picture. So some of the talent, some of the people that we've had come in here and really touch us here in the Tennessee Valley with some of the good cybersecurity information. Mr. Howard Schmidt, who was the first ever cybersecurity czar. Andy Osment, who I believe went to Grissom High School. Somebody could correct me on that, but I know that he went to here in Tennessee Valley to high school. But he was the deputy cyber czar. He came 2 years ago. And just a few others. Some of you geeks like me in the crowd, you may notice a few of these down at the bottom here. The offensive security, the makers of Backtrack and Metasploit, some of those embedded things. We've had those people, as well as Raphael Mudge, who's the creator of Armitage, which is a pretty cool tool that you may have learned in some of my classes here. Here we show the outreach program that we've had. This is the 3rd year in a row that we've done it. And last year, I wrote a grant, or I wrote an RFP for a grant to Microsoft. Microsoft gave us some money. So then this year we launched it. We've already got out to over 600 people, college, high school, middle school. We co-sponsored the B-Sides over with Calhoun and Nishith Agrawal over there and his great team that he's got over at Calhoun. But really some of our volunteers, like the folks that are here in the crowd from the ISSA, and then some of our talent that comes to the regular meetings, get out and speak about some of the coolness that is cybersecurity and computer science. So that's something to be interested in. And if we haven't come to your school, I would encourage you to invite us to come out. We'd love to be able to do that. We have money, but nobody's interested in that. We've given away $20,000 in scholarship, but that's not really important to you guys. So, I titled this something, Are You Ready for the Workforce? Because I kind of felt like many of you guys may be seniors right now, whether in high school or college. Maybe you're looking for a job. So if you are, what are some of those jobs that are out there that are going to make you feel like when you get in the car every morning and you're going to work, that you're actually making a difference? Because that's what it comes down to when it's not all about the money, although when you're a college student, I think that a lot of times you feel that way. Really, it comes down to the why behind it, and why are you doing it, and are you making a difference? And I feel like some of the people that you'll be in contact with our organization will do that for you. So at Elite Technologies, we do some of this stuff. Some of this stuff right here. And then kind of like a couple of the slides we saw before, some of this stuff. So yeah, look us up if you're interested. But the thing that I'm kind of turned on about is this BYOD initiative. Anybody got a cell phone in here? Yeah. So check it out. How many of you guys have heard of this right here? Anybody heard of this? We got one back there, two? Anybody over there? All right. So yeah, this is something that Forbes published that said anybody's got an iPhone or iCloud, whatever it is for Apple, the next new moniker they come up with. Forbes came up with this and they said, you know what, we're calling them iWorkers. These iWorkers are people that use their cell phones as much as they possibly can. And oftentimes walking around campus here, you can see a lot of different things. Maybe you guys are something that I just kind of made up, you and I student. And if you're not, then we can talk about that. So 2013, some of the statistics that came out were quite interesting. More mobile connected devices than people last year. And by 2020, if you're looking to get into something that's going to be a discriminator for you in your career, 2020, look at that right there, 50 billion internet connected devices. Now, they said laptops, iPads, iPhones, tablets, Android, BlackBerry, so everything is inclusive of that, but 50 billion devices, which is phenomenal. That's a big, big number. So really it comes down to some of these gut checks here that I'm going to call. 63% say that, hey, you know what, that's my bread and butter, my mobile device. 44%, we got a little bit of a problem here, and I'm going to enumerate this on the next slide. Yeah, you've done a little bit of naughty things here in the middle bullet, right? Maybe you've done some things that you shouldn't have. And if your parents are interested in maybe trying to look at some of the ways to prevent some of those, you can talk to some of our guys afterwards. And then down here, I thought this was quite interesting from some of the statistics that I saw on the DHS websites. The 50% of the Facebook users out there, I'm not going to ask you who has a Facebook account in here, put enough information that somebody could steal your identity on there. Now, I'm not going to say you or your friend sitting next to you, but certainly that's a problem. So, you know, these are uncomfortable situations that we get into, and you know, some of the things that we see out there, you know, the uncomfortable discussions about sex, the uncomfortable discussions about drugs. We had a president that said he didn't even inhale, which was quite interesting. You know, the grades, some people say that C's make an engineer because the engineers aren't challenged enough to make the A's. So the C's make the engineer. So, you know, we talk about those three, but really, you know, the thing comes down to the bottom one, in my opinion here, because we have a little bit of a difficulty where, you know, we're sitting right next to each other and maybe we're not even conversing with one another, which is quite frankly a tragedy. So if you're buried in your screen, whether it's right now while I'm boring the heck out of you, or walking down the hall, running into the pole on the side of the road while you're trying to text your friend, maybe you're this slide right here, what I'm coining the iZombies. So Mitch Albom, who's a sports writer, he's pretty well known in sports writer. This is kind of a gruesome slide, but he says that you know, these iZombies are really coming to life. And you know, I've started to see this over the past couple of years at holiday celebrations, or you know, even out here, the reception, whenever we go out there, you're going to see somebody's going to be a guy in the corner that's just pretending like they're looking at something that's more important than somebody standing right next to them, when really that person right next to you could be the person that could have that job that's waiting for you, you college seniors or you college juniors, or you people that are looking for those internships. So keep that in mind whenever you're going out there, that if you're the person that's glued to that device, you may be missing the next chance to do something that's very interesting. So taking this and decomposing some of these leads us to some interesting research. And I'm going to talk to you probably for the next 15 minutes or so about, you know, some of these things that I've been interested in. So I've been trying to do some interesting work on mobile devices, specifically Android, but it's stemmed over into some other arenas as well. And this BYOD movement is quite interesting, in my opinion. This mobile attack tree model, we could talk about this probably a whole semester long and decompose each and every one of these conduits. We'd have down here some of the radios that are on there, whether it's the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, maybe connecting in your car, your house, Starbucks. Maybe you're doing CDMA or GSM or whatever you're doing for your SMS, your data, and your voice. I know that you're hooking it up to the Facebook, Google Plus, or Twitter, probably LinkedIn. Some of you guys are doing all that stuff. But really where the problem set starts to come in is not just down there, but over here, where we take it up to the cloud, we are looking at corporate information on our devices, and we're syncing it up with other devices, whether it's in our personal cloud, like the iCloud concept. So I had a master's project that I called this Cell for, and if you've seen this before, then you're in for a treat. If you haven't, you're in for a treat as well. So why did I get into this is because, you know, social engineering is quite interesting to me, and you combine that with some of the coolness of these devices that we have, it really makes into a pretty interesting concept. So Symantec published its report that says that the next evolution of social engineering is coming. And people are getting more and more creative with the ways that they do it. And if you've not seen this article, this is from the AL.com, but the second largest major target for espionage is right here in Huntsville, Alabama. And why do I bring that up? Is because in my particular scenario right here, this person that I'm calling Julie, who is a senior over here at University of Alabama in Huntsville, she's looking for a job, and she's very interested. Maybe she's making straight A's or whatever her story is. So it's quite interesting. She's going out maybe looking for a job. So as an employer, what am I going to do? What am I going to do for that? Well, In the CEH, being a certified ethical hacker instructor, we teach a certain type of methodology to go and try to do profiles on people. So in these phases, we have a reconnaissance, a scanning, maybe trying to gain access to somebody's device, maintaining access, maybe put a little love on their device so it just beacons back to us on a regular basis. And then, hey, maybe I can wipe up my tracks or kind of clear the logs if I can. If I'm pretty cool about it, maybe I can do it. And there's a bunch of different ways we can do it. Probably the most favorite in the crowd here is asking Dr. Google right off the get-go. But open source intelligence, or OSINT, is quite interesting. Maybe you have an anonymous login to one of these right here that you go out and look at people's profiles. But the employers that are looking for you or the next generation of people, they're going out to these sites. They're looking at you doing the keg stands or whatever you're doing out there. So keep that in mind whenever you take the selfie and you pop it up on the cloud or pop it up on these sites, that the cybersecurity arena is starting to cross not only the cell arena, but HR and the business units as well. So if you have an account on any of these, which I'm sure that you do, make sure that you're keeping it real and not doing anything stupid on those. And if you don't have an account on any of those 5, maybe you got an account on one of these right here. And some of the techniques that we could employ would actually go out there and scour the interwebs out there and be able to bring it back in a way that is graphically pleasing to each one of us. So some of the websites that you may have looked up, and if you haven't, take out a pen and paper or take a snap of this. Spokio is a crowd favorite. People, P-I-P-L. Go check yourself out. I know people have done Google searches of themselves, but if you haven't looked at these sites, they're scary. And quite frankly, whoever created them, I wish I could get them alone to give them a little piece of my mind, because there's a lot of information out here that maybe shouldn't be out there, and it's borderline privacy breaching, but it's public information. And they coalesce it to bring it all together using tools like Maltego. Maltego is just something that we teach in the CEH class and a couple of the other classes, but essentially we have the 5 degrees of separation, or some people say the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I think, right? So if you don't know either one of those, you can see here that we have a person based off of this social network of this person. We can start to piece the environment together to figure out who is this person's most popular people in their lives. And why is this important? Well, if I get a copy of your cell phone, or if I write a little Python script or do something, maybe I can get access or get you to click on something, and then I can embed a little exploit into your phone, do a little social profile, and I'll talk a little bit about that here. We can use things like Google Street View. So Julie, for instance, maybe she lives in this nice house right here. And that'd be fantastic for her. But we do know a few things about Julie. She likes the Crimson Tide. She's over here. Her daddy's got a nice boat. She likes coffee, and I don't know how she can afford Porsches, but she likes those as well. Maybe she just likes fast cars. So let's just say, how many of you guys have ever bought a new cell phone before? So you probably, yeah, I'm sure you all have. So what you probably do is do your due diligence. You say factory reset on them or factory wipe, and then you go out and you probably try to pop it up there. Let's say that she went out and wanted to get a new cell phone. So she has the old one. She wipes this one out, and she puts it out on some auction site that's out there. And I just picked a random one here. But she has a cell phone. She puts it on a random site. So again, she has a cell phone, top over here. She wipes it, and she wants some money. Well, you, or maybe me, are looking for maybe Julie, or maybe a CEO of a company, or CIO of a university, or whomever. We're waiting for you. We're watching you. We're doing a profile on you. Maybe we hear you in the crowd say, hey, I'm interested in a new cell phone. We start tracking you. We get the device. You think you've done your due diligence by wiping it. I get the device. I'm able to root the cell phone, whether it's iPhone or BlackBerry or Android. I'm able to make a clone, my little sheep here. And then I'm able to slice and dice it by taking an image. And using the best practices in digital forensics, we can keep the integrity intact. And for chain of custody and some of the things like hashes, if you've ever talked about that before, we can use the the ADB for Android. We can use iTunes or Windows for Windows phones, or numerous other things. And for this project that I got into, it was quite interesting. And let me share a little bit more about it with you. So why is this important? Well, for Julie, if there was a crime, let's say, we could certainly piecemeal back what her day looked like today. We could look at her context. We could look at her text messages or sex messages. We could look at personal emails. We could certainly look at the selfies, the images, the family photos, those sorts of things. Any intellectual property, maybe they were doing some research. But specifically on the devices, we can do sling some SQL code, just some SQL-like code, just really simple stuff, and very, very quickly be able to bring that information back even after somebody's done the factory reset on these devices, which is quite interesting. So, what I did is I tied in some of the research that I did on these devices to this graph.facebook.com. Anybody played with this yet? Nobody in the room. Okay, so Facebook, in their ubiquity, they publish this API, this application programming interface that you can actually talk to. And they give you the little developer's token, which is just a long string, and you pass it to this API, and you tell it what you want, and they give it to you. Tell it what you want, and they give it to you. And so if you take this information, which is from the phone, and coincidentally, what do you have on your phone? Well, your Facebook information. You tie it up to the Facebook, we can start to build that social framework for that person and really get to a point where it's very interesting. And this just breaks my heart. If you've heard of this guy, Aaron Hernandez, Tim Tebow's a stud, Aaron Hernandez is a stud, just signed 2 years ago, $27 million contract with the New England Patriots. Yeah, Florida Gator. So of course I got to talk about him. Well, he's allegedly got in some trouble up there. I'm sure you heard about it. Well, this idiot tried to just stomp on his cell phone. And they didn't know, or I guess he didn't know, and same thing with his videos, his CCTV in his house. He didn't know that, hey, we can get our defibrillator out and resurrect the thing, bring it back to life, and magically create the social profile to feel out who are your major players in your life. So put back the pieces in time, and it's quite interesting. If you tie that sort of scenario with some of these open source tools that are out there, throw a little Python love in there, sling some code, what can you get? Well, I don't know who the heck is posting this stuff on Facebook about me, but I felt like I needed to find out what was out there about me. So I passed my information out to the Facebook API, and this is what came back for me. So I got me and my daughter, my 2 sons. I don't know who got this picture back in the 80s in Florida right here, me and my brother and my sister and everybody, and the picture of me in 5th grade right there. I don't know how that stuff got out on Facebook. I didn't even know it was out there. So those are the types of things you can pull with just simple queries, knowing a little bit of code out there, slinging a little bit of Python. So it's quite interesting. Some of the data that's available out on Facebook and other things on your phone is this thing called these EXIF files, the exchangeable image file format. And you can actually, you probably have read about this, you can actually take and find where somebody was based off of cell phone tower hits, based off of pictures they've taken. So if they went from here to Birmingham, you could figure out based off of a forensic evidence track back to Huntsville where this person was at a specific time during the day. And it's quite interesting. So am I telling you the truth? Well, yes, I am telling you the truth. And hey, you know what? If you have a phone, there's some simple things that you can do to make sure that you're doing your due diligence. But know this, that the 206 members that we have here in Huntsville with the ISSA, they want to help you. They want to help you grow as individuals and young professionals. We want to help you find the next generation of jobs. So keep that in mind. And quite frankly, the adversaries that are out there, the Chinese, the Russians, they have high-tech engineering masters and PhD graduates that are coming out that would go toe-to-toe with somebody like me or somebody like Dr. Vaughn or Dr. Morris or any other doctors that we have out in the crowd. So we need your help. We need your help as the next generation of cyber warriors in the field. And there's plenty of room for everybody to get some of this love. There's not just little pockets here. I don't know anything about industrial control systems. I mean, that's not my professional expertise. But that was pretty cool though. And that's his professional expertise, so there's plenty of pockets for everybody to get involved. If you like to play with things, if you like to be curious and break things, this is the profession for you. Cybersecurity is the profession for you. One of the things that you may have to swallow a little bit of pride, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because quite frankly, you just can't know everything. And that's how I'm able to keep learning each and every day, is just people that are younger, people that are older, reading books. Don't be afraid to ask for helps. And there are a few jobs that are out there that I know about. I know of an entry-level information assurance analyst with a local company here in town that's hiring somebody as an entry level. Also, there's some internships available. As president of the ISSA, people reach out to us and ask us if we have people that are interested in those things. So if you're interested in some of those types of opportunities, let me know afterwards and we can talk a little bit about it. So finally, this is my last slide, and then I'll turn it over to Michael. One of the things that I like to say is somebody in this room very well may be the next Steve Jobs, or maybe the next Mark Zuckerberg, or Bill Gates, or whomever. You guys in this room may actually create something that's pretty cool that we haven't seen before. And quite frankly, that would be awesome if somebody from Huntsville, Alabama did that. But one thing that stuck with me early on in my career, and I just pass this along with you, is don't just push the button, because we can get anybody to push the button for us. Anybody. Be the person that's creating the button. Go out there, be able to write some code, or get behind the scenes, figure out how it works, and make the magic happen. Create the button, don't push it. If you have any questions for me, I can move to that email address up top. Contact me. I'd love to be able to talk to you about some of the opportunities I'm aware of. So that's all I have. Thank you for having me tonight.
Does anyone have any questions for me? Yes.
I just have one really quick one. This is coming out because of our what's your opinion on basically freeware and shareware, like what both of us as a subject for their right now? You're trying to find industry to developing a program where actually developing and building as a paid contract where actually needs better quality. Instead of people doing it in their free time and products for a hobby.
That's a great question, man. That's a great question. So really a lot of these sites that are using the Heartbeat or any of those open source tools out there really start, like I was just talking about. They start off as a pet project. And I don't know if you have a lot of money, but I mean, I don't have money to be thrown all around. So you try to use open source tools and create something that's pretty cool. And sooner or later, those sort of things just take off. And it's quite unfortunate that something like that happens. But certainly some of those sites out there, I got about 6 or 7 emails today from some of the people that have some of my information saying that they're doing their due diligence to try to protect it. But if you can afford it, use some of the things that are higher end as opposed to open source. But then again, I mean, I live off of virtual machines and the Linux world, so I love open source.
Follow up on that. What about companies that actually afford to go after like Google or Yahoo or some of the banks that got hit, or Amazon did well, part of it, and the other websites.
Yep.
These companies that can afford to go pay for social security. Why do they do this using open source to hack into their companies?
Well, up until I guess a couple of weeks ago when it came out, the exploit came out, they didn't think anything of it. They didn't think there was a problem with it, you know, and that's really what it comes down to, is that until we know there's a problem with it, we think that it's pretty good. So that's a great question.
The library is hard, notoriously hard to develop as well. So the thing is if you would develop basically unless you're government or somebody with just massive resources, you've got to deal with the whole testing phase as well. There's this whole problem of exactly what happened with true. And that's how crypto is in general.
And what you get in with the article, yeah, sorry.
How about you guys take this offline, okay? That sounds great. Any other questions? I got time for one more. All right, thank you guys for having me out tonight. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm on standing row. We're going to have some food out in the atrium after I have a few slides, and for you to enjoy, and then also take advantage of this opportunity to network with other people. There's not just students here, there's quite a few people, professionals from the research park here also. And so say hi, introduce yourselves, and get to know what other people are doing. I just have a few slides about some upcoming events that ISSA is doing that you might be interested in. The first one is the North Alabama Cybersecurity Summit. And so we're going to change the name of it to Alabama Cyber Summit. The web address is alabamacybersummit.org, so it's easy to remember. But this is going on June 4th and 5th. Ben mentioned a little bit about it. The theme for this year is effective governance through risk management. So a lot of it is risk management focused. It's got two tracks. It's got a management track and it's got a technical track. So there's going to be a lot of really good technical discussions as well as some really good strategic discussions. And I've got a bunch of the speakers here. Dr. Vaughn is going to be hosting a panel from NSF, NSA, and NIST on cybersecurity education initiatives, which should be really interesting. Ron Rost is from NIST, and he'll be is the author of the risk management framework, which is the big risk framework that all of the federal government is moving to. It's replacing DICAT from DOD, so that will be really interesting. And we're also trying to get somebody from Kaspersky to come talk to us also on the technical side of it. The cost of it is $40 for ISSA members or for students, and $90 for non-members. And I'll tell you that this is well worth it. It's a 2-day event. We're going to get a lot of information. And also, there's a lot of companies there. So if you're looking for a job, this is a great opportunity to go find out what all the companies are doing and find out what job openings and stuff that they have in this. So in addition to the summit, ISSA puts on a bunch of training events. And these are hands-on events. They're typically 1-day classes. And they give an introduction to a technical subject or tools. So they're very good events that give a lot of good knowledge. Already this year we've had two events, Wireshark and on PFSense, which is a unified threat management tool. And in the coming, the rest of the year we're going to have classes on VMware. We're going to have a mobile device forensics class. And also I'm going to do some type of class on encryption tools and techniques, which is my area of expertise. And we're also going to do a capture the flag activity. So this is the first time that we're doing this, but it should be a really good, really good activity. We're designing it so that it will be applicable to people at any skill level. I think we're going to have 2 different tasks that are going on in it to target people that aren't very familiar with capture the flag activities, and one that is more sophisticated that should challenge about everyone. So go to our website, and we've got some brochures on the table in the back that have our website on it with some more information about the organization and also all the upcoming training events with it. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is for the summer we're having a logo contest that's open to all of the schools. And so this logo here is the one that we currently have. It's got a date embedded in it. And we're wanting to move away from having the date embedded in it. And this was designed a couple of years ago by somebody at Randolph School. So they currently have the prestige of having designed the logo. And so we want to get people involved, create a new logo, and try to get their name, their school's name as part of that. So we'll be announcing the logo contest really shortly on the Alabama Cyber Summit website. And the winner of it will win some type of prize. We haven't completely defined all of the criteria for it. But this will be for next year's logo for the summit. And so you get some name recognition and some type of monetary reward for it. So that's about all I have. And we also have some door prizes to give away. I'll go ahead and do that before we break to go eat. So, Mike, are you out there?